very easy test. There's three real whoppers, three real big words, big names, big descriptions that seem to lie on the top of some of the most antisocial behavior there is. Now, antisocial behavior is the phrase that we really use to describe those who go against the majority, usually in their ways, in wicked ways. So those three, just to be clear, is narcissism, a word that's thrown around like crazy. There's also sociopathy, or what they call Machiavellianism. And then there is psychopathy, okay? Psychopathy, sociopathy, and narcissism. So let's start with narcissism. Narcissism is a true personality disorder. Let me start that whole phrase over. We all are narcissistic, and it's for a good reason. However, people who really suffer deeply from narcissistic personality disorder, a true disorder, take the suffering and the pain to levels that are very, very damaging. Sympathy, empathy, those are all things I encourage. However, those are the sponges that attract the intentions to hurt. The strangest phenomena, the strangest, is that the predatorial behaviors that are so damaging are drawn to what they call vulnerability, weakness, sensitivity, empathy, sympathy. These things they call weaknesses. Now, these aren't weaknesses, but they are to the class of folks who live in this wrestling of ideas, of intention. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you're dealing with someone who has had to develop a false sense of self in order to handle and understand and live in this reality. They are not the only ones. We all have a little bit of that in us. I'm going to check outside for 1 second. When you're dealing with narcissistic people, you're not better than them. You're not more qualified. You just have been given a gift that they are looking for. And that is the peaceful idea that not everyone's first intention is to destroy you or hurt you or control you or manipulate you. Unfortunately, based on the world that unfolded around them, that's what happened to them. Can I prove that each person, each situation is like this? No, I can't. There's just too many. But I'm a betting man, and if I'm a betting man, I'd line up 100 of them, and I'd tell you that 90 of 100, maybe 95. They would never admit it. Maybe not all 95 admit it, but it probably happened. Somebody that they trusted destroyed their sense of reality. The pain is so intense that the false self is invented. And it is a brutal, brutal false self. Seldom does a narcissist produce a personality that is massively helpful and appealing to the goodness of the world. No, that's not the point. They will appear good, but when they get home, when the door shuts, when the car starts, the other part needs to surface. And it's dark. It's by far the scariest thing I have ever witnessed in my life. Now, the second word, or the second description, is sociopathy. So before we go any further, I just want to decode and define something for you that you might find helpful. Whenever you're talking the word path, psychopath, sociopath, right, empath, it means to suffer. Pathos, path, comes from the Greek word pathos, which means to suffer. So when someone is a psychopath, it means they suffer from their psycho, from their brains. When someone is a sociopath, it means they suffer from from society, from relationship and people. When someone is an empath, it means they suffer from emotions. Their emotions are their pain. You see? So when they say pathological liar, path, that's a suffering. When they say pathological, ogical, right? Pathos, that is a biological, I should say, a process in which they suffer. Ogical meaning the process. They are just continuing to repeat this pattern of suffering. So I like to know that because I still don't want to hate people who hate me. These people hate me. But it's because I make them feel bad. And I don't mean to do it. I don't, but I get so confused. I hate bullies, first of all. So when you bully someone or corner somebody or hurt somebody or make them feel crummy, I react. I am an empath. I am emotionally suffering. So as their brain psychopath is suffering and they have to hurt some victim, my emotions suffer and there I have to go save the day. That's been my problem. Now, narcissism is one, and sociopath or sociopathy is the second. Sociopathy is also called Machiavellianism. Now, I'm not proud of this, but you'll notice that these Machiavelli, if you don't know, is Italian. And Machiavelli was an extremely intelligent aristocrat from the medieval times. And we're not going to get into him, but it's named, he actually invented and named all of the dark aspects of power. And he was able to write and show through much of his writings the darkness that these people all seem to have, him included. Now let's move on. The sociopath suffers from the people that he's interacting with, or she. They don't understand the rage and agitation that comes over them through misreading most of the stuff that's happening around them. That's a very sad thing. Sociopaths are, in my opinion, primarily nurtured. They're not doomed. Sociopaths are everywhere. You love them. I love them. They have an inability to feel things that an empath would. You could see it with animals. They're usually very detached with animals. They don't see animals as as vibrantly alive as themselves. Now, again, nothing I'm saying is 100% accurate. Human behavior doesn't work that way. But the high percentage of what I'm saying is true. Psychopath. These are a little bit different. The psychopath is, in my opinion, the most reckless. The psychopath is different from the sociopath because the psychopath will truly will not understand, let's say, why people are crying when somebody dies. They don't have remorse. They often don't have shame, seldom fear. They do have a disdain and a cunning that is so needing to be utilized that if they could one up on you and need to, even at the funeral, they will, because they live in serious, serious predatorial mode. And they actually see anything that you're doing as a call for them to act. So if they think you're weak, they will hurt you